Hi everyone and welcome to another quick video on the Panasonic G80. I bought this Panasonic, the G80. I've been looking at it for a while now, but I didn't really want to sell my G7 and I didn't want to sell my GH4 because I absolutely loved it. I am using setup LED light over there because it's pitch black outside, and I'm using the camera app so that I can see it's recording, and I can also touch my face to grab focus, but as I'm not moving now I won't focus again. I'm also using the FieldWorld 7-inch external screen, which I'm looking at. Don't really need it because I've got that, but it's just the rig that I've got set up. Now, I would like to say that I sold my Panasonic GH4 a few days ago. I sold it because basically the G7, let's just talk about the G7 for a second. The G7 was about 2 stops, maybe 2.5 stops better on the ISO than the GH4. But I wouldn't sell the GH4 because I absolutely loved the camera, the way it felt in your hand and all the extra settings that you could have. I just didn't want to sell it. Now, when I first bought my G7, I absolutely loved that camera and I thought, do you know what, I might actually sell the GH4 and replace it with 2 G7s, so I've got 3 G7s, for video only, this is not for stills. But then when we just before we went to a wedding, I decided to plug the screen into the G7 and it worked great, focused, got it all right, but as soon as you hit record, the screen went off, and it was a ploy of Panasonic. They didn't want to put that feature in the G7. They wanted you to get the Pro GH4 to have the camera and to have the camera's feature. So that's one of the reasons why I never really got rid of the GH4, and we used to use the G7 as a glide cam camera or a B-roll camera where we don't use an external 7-inch monitor. When we're at weddings, we tend to use 2, definitely 2, if not 3 cameras with screens on, so that we know that everything, like the left camera, the right camera and the aisle camera, are absolutely pin sharp, and that's what the FieldWorld 7-inch screen allows you to do. If you're a bit blind like I am now, getting blind, you've got a better screen to look at and you can check that you're 100% in focus. And framing, you can frame better knowing that you can just see everything. So that's what sort of made me stay with the GH4. Anyway, out comes the Panasonic G80. And the G80 improvements over the G7 is we can now record, which we're doing now, we're recording on the Panasonic G80. We can now record and we can leave the screen on. It doesn't go black and tell us that the camera's in operation. So that's a massive plus for me and Dave. And the G80 over the G7 is weatherproof, and it also has in-body stabilisation, which is absolutely fantastic. I know that most of our lenses are stabilised, but we do have a couple that aren't. Now I'm shooting with the plastic 25mm f1.7 lens. It won't wobble anyway because it's on a big massive tripod, but the in-body stabilisation is there if I need it, and when you're hand holding video it works an absolute treat. I think it'd be good on glide cam as well, with when you've got the 12 to 35 on with image stabilisation and then you have the in-body together. It should be fantastic when you're gliding round. By the way, I'm using the Xeon crane, which I do need to get round to reviewing at the minute, but I just ain't got time. So they're the main features of the camera. So anyway, the other day I decided, you know what, the GH4 has got all them extra features and I do love them, but to be fair, I only shoot 4K. That's all I shoot. Once you shoot 4K and you realise that you can zoom in and out with it, you can play with it, you can downscale it to 1080, you don't really want to shoot anything else. It's like driving a Porsche or something really, really fast. You don't really want to downgrade to an old Escort Mark II, do you know what I mean? Because it'll just be a bag of crap. So I decided to sell the GH4. I near enough got the money to replace and get the G80 anyway. And I've gained now my screen, which I could do with the GH4. I've got weather sealing. The GH4 was weather sealed, but I've got in-body stabilisation, which the GH4 didn't have. I've got about 2 stops ISO performance better, And that's just absolutely great to have an extra couple of stops better on the ISO, especially when you shoot weddings like us, because obviously we're always shooting in low light. So I've got that to my advantage. Doing that and the in-body stabilisation just makes this fantastic. Yeah, the 1080p on this camera only shoots 28 megabits, whereas on the GH4 you had 100 megabits, even 200 megabits. But do you know what? I don't want to shoot 1080p anymore. I don't like 1080p and I don't want to shoot it. I want to shoot 4K. I absolutely love it. And like I say, I've got the G80 now. I have got the G7. Now, I would say that 4K side by side on the G80 and the G7, there's no difference. So if you're not bothered about in-body stabilisation, which to be honest, I'm not 100% bothered about it, but it's a fantastic feature, and you're not bothered about having an external screen on or weather sealing, then you could get the G7 and save a fair few quid and know that the video quality is the same. But if you want weather sealing, you want your memory card in the side of the camera, you want in-body stabilisation for your prime lenses, and you want the screen to stay on when you hit record. Now, I'm not talking the little screen on the back of the camera, by the way, guys. I'm talking about the HDMI out for the external field world screen that I'm using. Obviously on the G7 you hit record and then it just turns off and says, I think it says camera in operation or something like that. But again, Panasonic deliberately did that. So yeah, we will have a few up and coming videos on the Panasonic G80. I'd like it if you could please hit that subscribe button or at least the like button to let me know you like the videos. And everybody have an absolute stunning Christmas. I will see you again before Christmas, but have a very nice Christmas. Thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe.